Hello, this is Watched All About with another watch review. In this review we're looking at the Lew and Huey Cerberus, one of their very latest watches. In my eyes it's a very striking watch, has very nice design, also appears to be very well made, so we'll have a look at that in closer detail. So it's going to cost you about $525 or £345 to buy it, but we'll just have a look at it in closer detail to see what you get for that amount of money. So first things first, you can see that it is a very nicely designed watch. I think this is the white and blue version. It comes in different colour variants, but I personally think this is very smart colour variation. I really like just the mixture of polished and brushed finishes and the whole design of the dial as well. So I think it's really well designed, and it looks really good on the wrist as well. So let's think about the case. So it's 42mm in diameter, has a lug-to-lug length of 50mm, has a height of 12.5mm as well, and it weighs approximately 180 grams. So on the wrist it does feel pretty heavy. It feels good and chunky and sturdy, and feels like a well-built watch. But also at 42mm it's a reasonable size as well. I've got a 7.5-inch wrist for your information, so it does fit well, and it does provide a lot of wrist presence, definitely. If we just have a look at the case a little bit closer, I particularly like the polished bezel, and it has very slightly polished top of the lugs here as well, and then it's brushed on the inside of the lugs, brushed on the sides, and it's got a polished case back as well. So it has a nice variation of polished and brushed finishes. So it's, it catches the eye when you catching the light just right. You can see it. The polished bezel creates quite a high-end luxury look. So in that regard, it does look very very nice when you're wearing it. The finishing is all really well done as well. The brushed finish is very good. I'll get the macro lens on a little bit, and the polished finish again is absolutely flawless as well. It's good to note that it's got 3 lugs as well, so changing your strap is nice and easy. The lug width is 22mm, and we'll discuss the bracelet a little bit later. So 22mm is a good size. You'll be able to fit lots of straps that will fit it. So then moving on to the crown, it's just a push-pull crown, so you just literally pull it out to change the time. Usually, watches have screw-in crowns, which are more diver watches, such as the Orthos, the Cerberus's brother, as it were. But I guess the Cerberus isn't really aimed at being a dive watch, but more of a smart dress watch. So it only has a water resistance of 100 meters or 10 atmospheres. So in that regard, it doesn't necessarily need a screw-in crown. The crown itself has, of course, the classic Lew and Huey dog, Sparky, quite deeply engraved on the end, and it has a nice deep thick grip as well, so it's easy to wind up, or to when you pull it out to adjust the time. Moving on to the case back, again there's some more dogs. Lew and Huey definitely like dogs, and we have some watch specifics around that centre graphic as well. So this is all like engraved almost, very lightly etched. So personally I probably would have preferred something a little bit deeper, a little bit more impressive, but this is still sufficient, and it still looks good. It's all nicely it's nicely engraved, as it were. It's got sharp edges, nothing's messy at all, so in that regard it is perfectly fine. It's a screw-in case back as well, as you can see. You can see the little bits there. Okay, so moving on to the dial. There we go. We have what to me is the most obvious part of it is this linear pattern on the main body of the dial. Provides a nice sense of depth, and also it reflects the light in different ways as well, which is very pleasing to the eye. On top of that, we also have the applied logo, and the words Cerberus and Automatic are also on their own little level on top of that texture, which is a nice touch as well. We have all the applied hour markers, which are all flawless in their execution and application, and also like the date window with the effort that's been put into the frame. Got a nice metal frame around it, so that's always nice to see. I do like that. We also have these couple of edges holding the minute track as well. And then flanked by that is the blue Reholt. So that's really nice having this colour here, because it doesn't seem to be part of the actual watch face, but it just gives you a splash of blue. So it's really nice having that. I haven't seen that very often actually, to be honest. So it's you know, the Cerberus does provide certain elements of quite unique design. So in that way, it's pretty good. The hands are a very nice shape as well. You can see that they're just quite a thick arrow, slow arrow pointing, going towards the outside of the dial. They have loomed centres, and this where the loom stops is filled in almost by this black filling, which is again quite a cool little detail. And then the second hand is just a solid metal with a red tip and this nice aeroplane end as well. So let's get the macro lens out and we'll have a look at the watch in much closer detail. Okay. So we can see the logo here, nicely applied, and we can see the linear pattern on the dial as well. All very nicely done. There's Cerberus Automatic at the bottom, and then the date window. Let's have a look at some of these hour markers, and you can also see the outside edges there with the minute track on. Just give it a quick wipe. Let's have a look at the hands now. So the hands are nicely made. I really like this counterbalance aeroplane on the second hand. There's the hour hand as well. So they're polished and they create a nice reflection of the light when the light hits it just right. So there we go. So let's look at the case finishing now. There's the absolutely flawless polished bezel. I can't even focus on it, it's that shiny. And the polished top corner as well of the lug. Inside is brushed, which is nice to see. It's not very often you see a variation of finishes so close together, so it's quite impressive how they've managed to do that. This is the brushed. There we go. Brushed sides as well, the little hole for the lug. So let's have a look at the crown. I forgot, I didn't manage to get all the little blue sticker that comes on the end of it off, so I apologise for that. So there's Sparky in all his glory, quite deeply etched in, and then see the grip there is quite deep as well. Okay, so let's just move on to the case back. Let's give it a quick wipe. There's the three-headed dog. See, all the engraving is quite sharp and precise. And then we have the details etched around the outside. Quite nicely done as well. So let's have a closer look at the bracelet now. So the bracelet is 22mm all the way down, really well made. The links are really impressive, really thick, completely brushed. This side. There we go. And just the buckle. There's Lew and Huey etched on the flap of the clasp. There we go. So a couple of things I've yet to talk about is the movement. The movement is a Miyota 9015, which is fast becoming the go-to movement for boutique brands, because it provides a high beat movement, 28.8 thousand beats per hour, so 8 ticks a second, which is the same as any good quality Swiss made automatics, but obviously at a fraction of the cost of the cost. So it has everything you'd expect, 40 plus hours of power reserve, being able to hand wind it, hacking second, there we go, really good accuracy as well, and just really solid construction, really well made. So it's no surprise really that we find one of these in the Cerberus as well. So it's becoming really popular, so you can't really go wrong with one of them, to be honest. I haven't properly talked about the bracelet either. So just like the Orthos really, it's really well made, nice H-links. I do like H-links with the center joining section. It's all brushed, which is in my eyes a good choice for bracelets, because they're more likely to get scratched. And then a really decent buckle as well. So you really get a good solid watch for the money. You know, when you feel it and when you're wearing it, it does feel like a really well made watch. So in that regard, the Cerberus is very good. So so there we go. So obviously £345, it is quite a lot of money, I'm not going to deny that, but you do get a really nice watch. It's designed really well, it's made fantastically as well, you can't go wrong with the spec. So if it catches your eye, then I would really recommend the Lew and Huey Cerberus. So that's what it's all about.